everyone, and welcome back to my channel, I suppose. Happy New Year. It's been a hot minute since we last spoke. I wanted to talk to you all about, well, you'll see from the title, houseplants, consumerism, social media, and the need for acquisition. And I suppose wrapped around all of that, mindfulness. And this won't be appropriate to everyone. Not everyone will want to see things from this point of view, which I totally appreciate. I just wanted to kind of share some of my thoughts lately about houseplants and how they become another way of purchasing or spending or feeding some kind of like dopamine hit requirement within us. So you'll have to bear with me because I'm not always the most articulate of people. But I have been, well, to start this all off, basically, I've been looking a lot more closely at my finances and how I have been spending, how I've been using money, my relationship with money and my relationship with spending and acquisition over the last 26 years of my life. Well, probably not that long. I didn't have money for that long, but that's irrelevant. So I am very much one of those people who has a kind of poor impulse control when it comes to spending and purchasing and acquisition. And I used to be a nail polish blogger. I used to blog about nail polish and nail art, and that was a big, well, it was probably my second biggest pastime other than work. I stopped doing it for a number of reasons, but one of those was this strange consumerist fuel to always want more and always want the next best or the next rarest nail polish, which, I mean, sounds like the most privileged complaint on the planet. But yeah, anyway, so it became a massive, like, what would you call it, like a hoover of my money. And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and educating myself a lot about the way that we perceive money and the way that we are kind of conditioned to spend, which is really interesting. So I think her name is Hannah Witten, I think it is. She made a really interesting point. I can't remember which video it was in, but about how you grow up as a child and you kind of have this idea in your mind that you're going to have this amazing life in this mansion and like the perfect house with all these things that you could possibly ever want, the latest car, whatever. And you know, the dream changes depending on who you are and that kind of thing. It's just, that is an example. And as you grow older and you realize that you aren't necessarily capable of those things, or your financial situation doesn't allow for those things, or it's just not something that's going to be part of your future, and obviously you feel a bit down about it, you feel a bit crap, and maybe you feel a bit like a failure and stuff like that. I'm just musing because this is stuff that I felt. And you spend money on trinkets and things that make you feel like you're living that rich life and make you feel a little bit better about your situation and the fact that you can't control it. You can control it in this minute way by spending this thing on this item that you've, I don't know, desired. And there's been so many people that I've been watching, I can't remember who this has all come from, so I'm really sorry about that. But there's another person who was talking about how when she would, if I can find them, I will put them in the description, I promise. Like, I don't want to take stuff from people. This is just stuff that has been floating around in my head. She was saying that even if she didn't want something, she would go out and go shopping to try and make herself want something, to get that kind of dopamine hit of, or the rush of buying something that you want, and acquiring and accumulating more and getting more of that rare stuff, that stuff that you can covet. And it is kind of conditioned into us. You know, when we have sales and we have, you know, rare anything becomes a commodity. As soon as you put rare on the front of it, we are conditioned to want it more because of its scarcity. Scarcity is obviously a huge marketing factor. And I'm really starting to feel that now in the plant community, which I find that difficult to balance because I don't want this to become another thing for me to just accumulate as much as I possibly can and not be happy with what I have. Because I have so many amazing, beautiful plants. I'm looking at them as I'm like doing this video and I'm thinking I don't stop to kind of appreciate them as much as I should, because for a little while there I was just thinking about the next best plant, the next plant that I can acquire, or the next pot that I can acquire to make my plants look more better. You know, and then social media comes in as a different layer of this, of, you know, who has the most rare plants, who has the most interesting looking plants, the best pots, the most aesthetically pleasing background and layout for their plants. And I am speaking as someone who I am extremely I am extremely susceptible to suggestion for a multitude of reasons. I just am someone who's very susceptible to suggestion, and I wish that wasn't the case, but that's naturally how my brain works. And if I feel like the way to improve my little YouTube project is to put rare in the title of my plants, then, you know, that makes me feel like I should be doing more rare plant-based stuff, and if I don't have any rare plants I better go out and buy them, and, you know, I should covet them and all this kind of stuff. So it all feeds into a big cycle, and to me it seems so incongruous that we turn nature into a commodity. Like nature is an unlimited resource that really in some ways we shouldn't even lay claim to. I mean, ultimately it's a privilege. It's like having pets is a privilege. We are the owner of our pets, but they are a natural creature in their own right. Ownership is a very odd way of thinking to me about nature. But yeah, so it's, and that feeds into your acquisition. You know, the acquisition of things, the filling my life up with beautiful things, that the trinkets that make me feel good about stuff. When really I want to be able to pause and, you know, mindfully look at my collection of plants and go, this one has grown, this one's suffering, this one needs water, and not lose control of the ones that I have and not have them die on me because I've been spending so much time buying new plants and buying plants I don't have room for. So yeah, this is kind of roundabout. As I said, I'm not very good at articulating myself, but I do think that there is an insidiousness to commodifying a natural resource like plants, and that's not to say it's bad or wrong, but there's something uncomfortable about it for me in the hyping of plants. It just doesn't seem right. And I remember when I started buying plants and really getting into my plants, it wasn't at all about, I didn't even know about plant Instagram or plant YouTube or anything. All I knew was that I liked looking after something, and I liked caring for something living and seeing it grow and seeing it, I don't know, seeing it suffer and communicate with me and just being there for all parts of its life. And there was a period of time where someone asked me, do I want to start a YouTube channel? Do I want to start an Instagram about my plants? And I was kind of afraid of it, because I was afraid of it becoming this, I don't know, this accumulative nature in myself. So I'm kind of trying to take some time to reflect back on why I first got into plants in the first place. I don't want it to be a hobby that I just get sick of and drop because I can't afford more, or they keep dying or something like that. It's a hobby for me that I love, taking care of my plants, and I don't want to build a YouTube channel business based on things that like makes me get more likes or more views or anything like that. For me, YouTube is not, I don't want it to be my profession or anything like that. I just want to share the stuff that I love about plants. And I don't want to get sucked into that mindset. You know, if something positive does come of YouTube, fine, that's great. But I don't want to get sucked into that mindset of acquisition, accumulation, commodity of plants. I just don't. So I'm kind of, I don't know, this is just musing really and sharing my thoughts. I don't know if anyone else feels the same, but you know, I probably didn't touch enough on social media, but there's an unconscious pressure to you know, to be able to make connections with people, to be able to get more likes, get more followers and that kind of thing. And it's a really strange one. I never know how to manage it. I don't think anyone knows how to manage those unconscious pressures on things. But it's something to be aware of, something to be mindful of in the whole plant buying craze. And it certainly has become like a big thing at the moment. It's the in trend, on trend, in fashion thing at the moment to bring a bit of nature into your house, which is fantastic. And don't get me wrong, I love that. I think it's brilliant that we are in a society where we can celebrate nature and that can be something that people enjoy. But I don't know, when it becomes another like craze where everyone has to get as many as they possibly can, it just, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. And that's not to say that I haven't been part of that, because I have. I have been quietly accumulating too many plants and I just feel overwhelmed at the moment. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to open up the discussion about this situation, because I don't know, I know a few people have touched on it before about how we should mindfully enjoy our plants. It should be about the nature of it. It should be about the caring and tending to another living thing and enjoying how they respond and how they live and breathe and exist in our homes, which is fantastic. So I want to be more mindful. I want to open up discussion about this stuff and see if anyone else feels the same way, because I don't think I'm alone in this feeling, and I want to be conscious and turn it around for myself so it doesn't become yet another like, I don't know, stress. It's just stressful somehow. Stressful, like losing money because I'm hemorrhaging money on my plants, and also in the same vein planning to spend more money. Like, that's stressful, and then my plants are dying that I've spent money on. It's just, I don't know, it just stresses me out, man. Like, it just doesn't seem right. So, and I know I'm not the only one in this feeling. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and if you have any tips on how to avoid this kind of this psychology around plants as things, and plants as possessions. I mean, they are, but they're not. It's, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. Yeah, if I'm being truthfully honest here, I will like confess something here, which I don't think is a good thing to confess. I have, in the last 3 months, been seriously considering moving house so that I have more room for my plants and so that I have a garden to get more plants. And that's bad. Like, that's bad. I mean, it's not bad in the sense that like it's positive for people to move on and move forwards with their life and, you know, build and grow their home. But it's bad if I'm thinking about it in a sense of acquisition of more things. That's not sensible, and that is not even a healthy way of approaching a hobby. So I think I need to take a step back, not buy any more plants, just chill. Well, my current financial situation dictates I cannot buy any more plants. So but that's a good thing. So yeah, let me know what you think, if you want to join me in not buying any more plants, and you know, I'm open to doing swaps and stuff like that. Like, swapping is fantastic because it's not about the accumulation, it's about the connection, and that's what really is important to me about the social media aspect, being on YouTube, being on Instagram is that you are able to connect with people who love plants just as much as you do, and who love nature, and who have a real passion for caring for these living things. And that's what I want to reconnect with. That's who I want to be again, because that's where it all began for me, was a love of plants and a passion, like a true love and passion of these amazing living things. So yeah, I want to get back to that. So message me in the comments. If you want to do a swap, get in touch. I mean, probably like later in the year, because it's bloody freezing right now. But yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe if you like this type of content.